Hi, I'm Jim with Pour the Juice, and in this video, I wanted to see if you could start a whiskey collection with only $50 from a mediocre liquor store. You know, there are some great liquor stores out there that have a ton of product and you can finagle a little bit more, but I really wanted to see if it's just a generic, you know, okay liquor store, if you can find enough in there to create a collection with hardly anything saved up. You know, the $50 mark, it's essentially one bottle for a mid-tier bottle these days. And thought it was going to be a bit of a challenge to be able to do that. Um, yeah. So what I've done so far is, I've went to the store and I've tried doing that, and I have a little bit of footage from my trip to the store. It's not great footage, but at least it shows a little bit inside that store, so you know what I was working with. And we'll go to it now.
Attempt to do this incognito.
Which one of these is it that you drink? Okay. All right. I love you so.
Well, welcome back. Like I said, footage isn't that great. I was actually in a PA, Fine Wine and Good Spirit store. They don't like you filming, so I was kind of doing things incognito. But yeah, after that footage, I did walk around some more, got my bearings a bit more in the store, and I found some bottles that I think fit the criteria of what I'm looking for. And that criteria, just so you know, is I want each bottle to do a little something different. Um, if I'm creating a collection, I want to be able to explore whiskey a little bit within that collection. It's not necessarily to say, oh, I'm trying to collect every bottle or only the expensive bottles. No, like if I am starting a whiskey collection, I want there to be different types of whiskey, different proof points, um, finished whiskeys, just something a little bit different, different um, distilleries. And so that's kind of what I went in with. And my main goal of this was to get one single bottle, at least a regular size bottle, one of them. Um, that would be good enough to sip straight, neat, but also on the rocks, maybe as a mixed drink, if it happened to be that. Um, nothing here is going to be expensive whiskey, obviously, but I did want something that could be like a jack of all trades. And so for me, that whiskey is going to be Evan Williams Bottled and Bond, white label. Heard about this one from pretty much every YouTuber, I'm sure, whiskey YouTuber. It's a very versatile bottle, very good for the price. The price on this one is $21.99. So it's before tax, but yeah, for $21.99, it's really hard to beat. There's a few other bottles in there that I thought about around the same price range. But this one I think is a little bit higher quality at a little bit of a cheaper price. So this is going to be my main bottle that's going to start my collection for for $50. And so I'm going to leave this here. The next bottle that I picked up, I wanted to get something else that was going to be a little substantial. I wanted to get something that wasn't Heaven Hill. Something that's going to be a little bit higher than 80 proof of what, you know, a lot of the cheaper bottles are going to be, or 90 proof. And almost dropped it. So I got myself a little plastic Wild Turkey 101. I am personally a big fan of Wild Turkey 101. I think it's great whiskey. You know, it's kind of along the same lines of the Evan Williams Bottled and Bond. Great whiskey, great price. You can't really beat it. And I mean, you could beat the plastic bottle, but you know, in starting a whiskey collection, if this was just the start to your collection, it wouldn't be a terrible thing. You could really compare, you know, distilleries this way, you know, having some Wild Turkey, having some Heaven Hill side by side around the same proof will let you kind of get to the notes that you're looking for in those distilleries. And yeah, I just think this is kind of a great start. And as you could probably guess, these bottles are going to get a little bit smaller and a little bit smaller. This Wild Turkey 101 was $14.99 for half a bottle's worth. The next bottle I got is the Port Finished Angel's Envy. This is 100 milliliters. And yeah, I'm super stoked that I was able to get a finished whiskey for this small $50 whiskey collection. I was really surprised I was able to do that. Wasn't expecting to see this there. I did see they had a larger size that I was thinking about getting before the Wild Turkey. But once I saw the smaller one and the price on it, the price on this, just so you know, is $9.99 on this little bottle of Angel's Envy. Like I said, it's finished in port casks. It's 86.6 proof. This is going to be another one. You know, they're all going to be pretty close in proof. So you'll be able to compare all of them. You'll be able to, you know, go in there and taste the difference of what like a port finish could be compared to an unfinished whiskey. Really happy I was able to get something finished in this small $50 collection. And to round out my $50 collection, because we're pretty close now, this is pretty close to $50. I had a few dollars left, and I went over budget by 96 cents, but I couldn't resist getting a little Maker's Mark, a little bit of wax, a little bit of wheated bourbon. Also extremely happy about that. Getting something wheated in the mix. Got two great starter whiskeys, starter bourbons, a finished whiskey, and a wheated whiskey, all for $50. You know, you could go other ways with this. You know, there's lots of bottles in that cheaper range that you could try, but for $50, I think this is a great start to a collection. You know, a lot to build on from here, and I'm super happy with my outcome. And funny enough, I don't have any of these currently in my collection. I've drank them all, but don't have any open in my collection. So super happy I was able to do this. $50. Got 4 different types of whiskey I can use in other videos if I need to. And you know, it's always good to have some turkey on hand. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you'd like to see more of these, I don't know if I could do a $50 collection for Scotch, but if you'd like to see more videos like this, please let me know in the comments. Please like the video and please subscribe. Cheers. One last thing. Totally forgot to talk about the total of what I paid. So I gave you price points of all those. The Maker's Mark was $3.99. The subtotal came to $50.96. So I went over budget, under $1 over budget, so I'm not too upset about that. After tax, $54.02. We're not going to count tax though. Yeah, pretty good. Thanks for watching again.